The where clause is used for filtering which rows will be returned from a query. There are a rich set of operators to choose from in constructing your where clause. These operators are sometimes called predicates in the literature, so you'll know what they mean when you see that. In our first example, we'll construct a query that only returns rows where the city is in the GBR country code, which is Great Britain or the United Kingdom, for those of you following along at home. Before we run it, let's take a look at this query and see what we expect to happen. This is a select query, and in the select clause we have country code, name, and population. We're selecting from the city table in the world database, and we have a where clause. The expression is country code equals GBR, where GBR is a literal string. We see the single quotes there, and that makes this a literal string. And what this means is we're looking for rows where the country code will have these exact letters in it, no more and no less, GBR, which stands for Great Britain. Go ahead and run the query. And we see our three columns, country code, name, and population. This is exactly what we expected from our select clause. The country code, all these rows have country code equals GBR. And we see we have 81 rows, and that sounds about right. So this is exactly what we expected to have happen. The where clause directs the database engine to go through the result set and only return the results where this condition is true. In this case, the condition expression is an equals expression. Country code equals a literal string GBR. And that's exactly what we got. Now let's construct a different query, a different where clause, that returns cities with a population greater than or equal to 5 million. And this works like this. So here we have our where clause as population is greater than or equal to 5 million. So we're using a comparison operator, greater than or equal to, with a literal number that says 5 million. So this should return rows where the population column has a number in it that's greater than 5 million. And there we go, 24 rows, and all of these populations are greater than or equal to 5 million. Now sometimes you might want a query that matches part of a string, and for this there's a special operator called like. This is how like works. And in this like expression we're matching the name column with a string that starts with a Z and has this % symbol, which is a wildcard, and it means any characters after that are okay. And so this should return rows where the name column starts with Z and has anything at all after that. And here we have all of our cities that start with the letter Z. Similarly, you could put the % sign at the beginning and match any rows where the name column ends in Z. And there we have name columns that end in Z. And if you use a % symbol on either side of the Z, you can get name columns that have a Z anywhere in them whatsoever. And here you have one that's got a Z in the middle someplace, Z at the beginning, Z at the end. So now we're matching anything with a Z anywhere in it. And that's how the like clause works. Now finally there's the in operator, and that one works like this. The in operator selects from a list of values and compares that list to the column or variable that you provide for it. In other words, this will return rows where the country code is USA or